Welcome to another episode of A Servant's Heart podcast, where you will hear about women loving others through service, fun times, helping others, and opportunities to join us ladies of the Statesville Women's Club to also be a servant with heart.
Well, welcome back to another segment of Member Moment. And we are joined today with Joanna Gaither and Yolanda Johnson. So, and of course,
Dana White.
Dana White, not to be confused with Vanna. So, and of course, Shelley Arthur. So we are joined with our co-chairs of this administration year for the membership committee. And I think, Dana, also, you're kind of participating in that as well. Yeah, so it's the...
Couldn't do without her.
It is the trifecta right now. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. So, we've got Joanna, who is kind of the legacy member. That's what I call y'all, the ones that have been a member for quite a while. When did you join, Joanna?
I joined in 2004.
Okay. Yeah, good.
I had been coming up on 20 years now.
That's awesome.
That's right.
My favorite one.
Yeah. So I had been a member of Junior Service League, which I don't know if everybody here knows much about Junior Service League, but back for decades prior to the 90s, Junior Service League was a very important part of the community, a very active group for anybody between 18 and 40.
Okay.
But when you aged out, you aged out.
You got kicked to the curb.
Got kicked to the curb. So a very persistent, very lovely friend talked me into coming to a
Would
a
that
woman's
be Linda
club.
Lavender?
Yes, it would
be the same lovely friend.
She is still persistent today.
She is. She should be a chairperson of the membership committee.
Right. She's a good recruiter.
She's a very good recruiter. But she knew that I would fall right in line because I understood at that point GFWC.
Right.
So that was a little bonus, you know.
Nice.
But
And so, what kind of positions have you held in the club since you joined in 2004?
Well, I started off kind of slow. The first few years, I really wasn't able to participate very fully. And anytime you come into a new club, it takes a while to get your footing. But I also had young children.
Yeah.
And I was, going to ball games, and
Sure, yeah.
that was first
Playing
priority.
that balance
Yeah,
of
but I
that.
think my first role really was with the Arts CSP.
Okay.
Which was Dana's introduction to the
was.
club.
Oh, okay.
But that was a good place to slide in, and I had a really great mentor for that, Marie Spees,
Nice.
who's a treasured member, former member of the club. Then from there, I think I was secretary one time, and then went through the first vice president, second vice president thing.
And worked your way up.
Yeah, and then there was no getting out of it at that point.
Oh, it was so it's the no return.
Right,
You
right.
you had to go ahead and you
Right.
you
And
ended up becoming a president.
Right, and it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Cool.
Yeah, it really was. I'd advise everybody to go for it.
Right. Right. Did you have like a president's project? Because I'm seeing that is a thing nowadays. I don't know if it was
Not so much
prevalent.
then. I think then that this was 2015-16.
okay.
And at that point, we didn't do a project per se,
Or a focus, maybe?
Yeah, a focus. I remember doing the state federation theme was about keys. It was all about keys to the future and keys
Gotcha.
to here and there.
Okay.
And I thought about those big, beautiful doors at the clubhouse and how that key unlocks everything we do,
nice. Yeah,
and
that's
has for decades to that point.
Yeah.
So, it was a fun time.
Neat. So, and Yolanda, tell me about when did you join?
Okay, so I actually joined in March of 2022. I was, actively enrolled. I was just looking for somewhere to go. I had always worked 2 jobs, and I was tired of working 2 jobs. I said I wanted to kind of simmer down, but I still wanted to be interactive with people and the community, doing different things in the community. And I had just started looking for things. I quit my part-time job and went PRN. So as I was looking, I came across a women's club, and I, just started on Facebook looking, and then I contacted Dana.
Nice.
And she sat down and she talked with me, and she told me a lot about the club. I said, I'm still kind of new to everything, so there's a lot for me to learn still yet, but I just love being a part of the club. I love being able to just interact with everybody when I can.
Yeah.
It's just like, it has been a blessing. I truly like being a part of the club.
Well, we truly like you and appreciate you
Yes,
being
we
a part
do.
as a newer member, So I always would say, what's your big why? So why did you join? Is there a specific number one reason?
Just to be able to give back to the community, to work with the community, and I see that a lot of that is done in the women's club, so it gives me the opportunity to
We
get
stay
out
busy.
there and work.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you, Joanna? What was your big why? Just because you got kicked to the curb, you aged out?
Honestly, it was like a grand mistake. It was nothing I really thought much about.
Right.
But once I got in, I was very quickly acclimated to what was going on.
Yeah.
The club was very active at that time, as it is today. And so there was a lot to pick and choose from.
Nice.
And I began to see how much this club has always done for the community, and I became very, very aware of the history of the club.
Right.
And that's something that's very important right now, especially. We've been focusing for the past 2 years a lot on the history of the club. But you also mentioned that we do a lot of community service. What would you say is your favorite project? Because you've been around, and you too, both of you, each of you. What would be your favorite project that we've done?
You want to go first?
You go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry for the delay, but it's hard to pick a favorite. I think I probably have enjoyed working with the scholarship that we do, the Sally Southall Cotton
Right.
Scholarship, which has been in existence in the state since the 1930s, and
Right.
Wow.
and on some level even earlier than that. But it's a way to stay connected to our very youngest members of the community. It's open to girls and boys who are seniors in high school, and our scholarship is $1,000, which doesn't seem like much, but it feeds. The winner feeds into the district program where they can win again $1,000, and then on the state level, if they win that, it's $12,000 over 4 years.
Right.
So that's been very rewarding, and I think I headed that up for like 6 or 7 years, and truly enjoyed that. Of course, there have been big fundraisers like our kickoff to our capital campaign, the tea we had.
Yes.
Sitting back and watching that unfold was just a joy.
It was.
It really was. And a lot of hard work went into it, but it was definitely worth it. And so those are just a couple of things. But the most fun of all is being in the kitchen with Yolanda, washing dishes at our several of our meetings. We found ourselves there.
Yeah.
And that's where the relationships are really
Yeah.
bonded,
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah, and I too have a tendency to follow Joanna wherever she's going. I want to work with. I want to do what she's doing because she's, I'm really comfortable around her, and just, we interact
you.
really
Thank
good
you.
together. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So do you have a favorite project that we've done since you've been in?
Well, I don't even know which one to say the most. I enjoy the little rock painting. That's one of my favorites because coming up, I used to hear about the painted rocks and stuff all the time. And it was until I was at the beach about a year ago, I found my first painted rock. And I was so excited. And to this day, I still have that painted rock. But I said I like being able to paint and then watching the kids find them and, the joy of finding the painted rocks. But then the geranium sells so much. It's just so much. I don't even know which one to say I like the most because I just like being a part. I like interacting. So
Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing that.
So, what would you say makes that our club makes the biggest difference in the community? Where do you think the Statesville Women's Club makes a difference in the community?
Well, I think from the individual right on up to large groups. I mean, everything in between. You know, a lot of times we see a need in an individual or a small group. It's very personal, and we can help people that way. But then, you know, especially pre-pandemic, we were doing a whole lot of working with other nonprofits, you know, who had more resources to follow their mission, but they needed a little help in a certain way, and that to me is very rewarding. And that's something, you know, they're still gearing back up after pandemic, as we have had to do too. So I kind of hope we can get back to that at some point, helping people like Scan, Rainbow Kids, you know, just any number of local groups.
Right. Yeah, so I think like last year we did the book collection and the comfort critters,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
and took them over there. That was I felt like that was a good turnout for that. But yeah, you're right. It's so neat to see how many do we have now in our membership?
We have 49 members.
49
officially.
members, which is, I still feel like that's a relatively small group. If you look at like Rotary or something like that, they're so much larger. But I love that we can take 49 people and come together and just out of the kindness of our heart, donate time and a little money to do things like that. Even our little painted pots that went to Maple Leaf.
Right. That was a very popular project as well.
That was fun. And like you said, the Rocks. The Rocks is a great membership draw, like for new members, to bring members into the clubhouse, because a lot of people don't even know what that house is for.
Yes, well, as hard as it is for a lot of us to come the first time, even if you come with a friend, you know, and are introduced around, it takes a lot for someone just to walk in off the street, which is what happens at that rock painting. You know, people come in the front door and said, I read about this in the paper, and it's like a lot of fun. So that's a real bonus.
So what are if someone did want to join the club, what specifically do they have to do other than walk through the door? Do they have to be invited? Or
No,
how
they
does
don't.
that?
They don't have to be sponsored by a member or anything like that. It's great if you bring a friend, but
Sure.
No, as long as you're a woman over 18 and you come to 2 events or meeting, that could be a meeting or you know, one of our nighttime events, and just take your time getting to figure us out and decide if it's a place you'd like to be. And after that, let's see, what else? Your dues. You fill out just a simple application with just basic information, and the dues are $100 a year.
And when I talk to people, one of the things that I like to tell them is that the reason that we ask you to go to 2 events is to see if we're a good fit for you.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, it's not. We also need to get to know you and see that you fit.
Right.
But we want the person, the individual woman that comes in, to make sure that she's going to feel comfortable with us and that she's going to fit in, that she's service-minded and things like that.
Right. And it's a great club for networking, obviously, and meeting new friends. But I have noticed that we really are a lot about business and getting the business done, which is serving the community in so many different ways and creating funds or fundraisers to provide money to other nonprofits too.
And sorry, Yolanda, go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying.
Oh, okay. One of the things is you also mentioned getting back to working with other nonprofits, and there is a ad hoc committee that the Ways and Means chairperson is heading up, where we are evaluating other nonprofits to make sure, one, that, vetting them to make sure that they are nonprofit, but also that they need the money, or that how they would use the money. They may be a bigger organization, but have a specific need, and so there is a committee that is working on making sure that we choose a good fit for us
Right.
when we start giving money out again.
Right. So, as current co-chairs of the memberships of the trifecta here, tell me and the viewers, what plans do you have to attract new members and retain current members for the 2023-2025 administration year? Got any tricks up your sleeve?
Well, not really, not yet.
Any
Not
super
yet.
secret plans?
One thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is how recruitment and retention all really, the membership is in control of that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think if we can do some things, of course, plan something far out. Now, the GFWC has lots of recommendations for things you can do for recruitment. But when they talk about planning an event, they talk about starting 6 months out to plan the event to be perfect. But there's a lot we need to do before that in getting all our members, which, I mean, I think in the back of their minds, they know they're on board with recruitment and retention, but there's some things we need to hammer home before we do any big events. But for the short term, we're doing things in the evenings that folks who go to work during the day can get to.
Nice.
And so we'll try to do something at least once a month.
Okay.
And that'll be advertised.
So do you have something for November?
Well, we have a good way to kick off the holidays with one of our paint and sip
Oh, fun.
events
One of
where
my
we'll
favorites.
Yolanda will be painting some Christmas and festive rocks. So we're calling it Rockin' the Holidays. So,
Ooh, okay.
that'll be November 30th from 5:30 to 7.
Nice.
And
Sounds fun.
everyone's welcome.
And of
Please
course,
come.
didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah.
you, but I want to make sure that we get in that it is going to be at the clubhouse.
Yes.
Right. Okay. That's great.
The clubhouse is one of our grandest old ladies.
Right.
It's our clubhouse is a great tool for recruitment.
Right.
Everybody wants to know about it.
Yeah.
Right. And it is lovely. I mean, it's I've never had anyone come in, a friend, and not go, wow,
Exactly.
because they don't have any idea what it looks like inside, and it is beautiful.
That was my first impression when I walked in. I was just like, wow, all the lighting, and it was just like very beautiful.
And it's just grand.
It
It's
is.
grand.
That's the
the
best
tall
word.
But it's
ceilings.
not off-putting.
No.
You feel very at home there after a
Yeah.
while, and you
Yeah.
can't wait to go.
Yeah.
It's not an ostentatious place.
Right.
It's
Right.
just but grand is the word to use, and
Right.
that's the word we use to describe it. Our grand old lady.
lady.
Well, as we wrap up this segment, I also wanted to just remind members and anyone who would maybe be listening to this segment that we also have our holiday luncheon coming up on the 7th of December.
Right.
It's going to be a potluck. But of course, if you're just joining us for the first time, please just be our guest.
Right.
And we are collecting toys that are going to be distributed to the Statesville Police Department. They're doing a really nice toy drive, so we're going to contribute to that. And if you have any questions about what kind of toy to bring, just go on their website. They have a nice little list of suggestions. And it'll be really very informal and fun and a social kind of time. So please put that on your calendar. We're going to start at 11:30 on the 7th, which is we typically meet on Thursdays, so it keeps it first Thursday of the month. So plan to put that on your calendar and join us, and then you'll be ready to meet Joanna and Yolanda and Dana and
Don't
myself.
forget.
That's right, Dana and everyone else. So
That's right.
And we always have a really good turnout at the holiday luncheon, so you will get to meet a very nice collection of women. Thank you so much.
okay, well, this wraps up the membership moment, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us.
Have a great day.
You've been listening to A Servant's Heart, sponsored by the Statesville Women's Club. We are located at 515 West End Avenue, Statesville. To contact us, you can email us at statesvillewomansclub@gmail.com or call 704-761-8208. Our website is statesvillewomansclub.org. Remember, that's Statesville Women's Club with an A.org.